the Melanin Protocol, the world had changed, its skies a stark reminder of humanity's hubris. Where once there had been a pale blue dome shielding Earth from the harshness of space, there was now a fractured shield, riddled with invisible scars. The ozone layer had thinned beyond repair, leaving ultraviolet radiation to pour down unrelenting like a silent, merciless tide. By the mid-22nd century, what had once been whispers of danger had turned into an undeniable truth. The sun was no longer a benevolent giver of life. Its rays burned with an intensity that turned midday into a gauntlet of survival for those unprotected. Skin cancer rates had skyrocketed, disproportionately affecting people of European descent whose lighter skin lacked the natural defense offered by melanin. Science, as always, raced to catch up with catastrophe. The answer came in the form of Melanothera 9, a groundbreaking injection that infused the skin with synthetic melanin. The treatment, initially experimental, became mandatory under the Global Health Resilience Act of 2143. For millions, it was the difference between life and death. For others, it was a stark reminder of a world reshaped by climate disaster. Dr. Anya Sterling stared out the window of her research lab in the London BioShield complex, watching as another cloudless day scorched the city below. The UV index ticked dangerously into the red, and the streets were deserted save for the shimmer of heat waves. Those who ventured out wore the latest in UV armour, reflective suits that glinted like fish scales in the sun. The hum of the air purifier brought her back to the moment. On the lab bench before her, a vial of amber liquid sparkled under the sterile light. It was the latest refinement of Melanothera 9, designed to improve melanin retention and reduce side effects. Anya's fingers hovered over the vial as she contemplated the weight of her work. "You're late," came a voice behind her. She turned to see Dr. Elias Varner, her colleague and occasional adversary. His dark brown skin bore the unmistakable sheen of years spent in the sun, unmarred by the burns that plagued their lighter-skinned peers before the protocol. "I was finalizing the compound," Anya replied, her voice tight. "This batch should reduce the rejection rate in children." Elias nodded, though his expression remained skeptical. "You're still trying to solve the impossible. Some people will always reject it, no matter how perfect the formula is. The human body is not a blank slate." "It has to work," Anya snapped, her frustration flaring. "We can't just leave them to burn." "And yet here we are," Elias said softly, gesturing to a monitor displaying global compliance rates. The numbers weren't promising. Despite the protocol's mandatory status, resistance was widespread, particularly in regions where distrust of science and government ran deep. Some clung to archaic notions of purity, rejecting the injections as an affront to their heritage. Anya's gaze darkened. She'd spent the better part of her career developing the injections, driven by memories of her mother's blistered hands and scarred face. She couldn't understand how anyone could refuse salvation when it was offered. "What if we focused on prevention instead of reaction?" Elias asked, breaking the silence. Anya frowned. "You mean genetically engineering future generations? That's decades away, even if we had global approval." Elias leaned against the counter, arms crossed. "Maybe. But it's a long-term solution. You're patching leaks in a sinking ship. I'm suggesting we build a new one." Outside the lab, the world grappled with the implications of the protocol. In the sprawling slums of New Cairo, black market melanin injections proliferated, often diluted and dangerous. In the Arctic colonies, where the sun's rays bounced off ice and snow with deadly precision, compliance was near total, and in the remnants of the American Midwest, a movement known as the Pale Resistance had taken root, preaching defiance against what they saw as forced homogenization. In one such enclave, a young woman named Cora Anders stepped forward as a reluctant leader. Her fair skin, once considered a mark of beauty, now carried the weight of defiance. She'd watched her brother die after a failed injection, his body rejecting the synthetic melanin in a violent autoimmune response. For her, the protocol wasn't salvation, it was tyranny. "They're rewriting who we are," she told the gathered crowd, her voice trembling but resolute. "They say it's for our survival, but at what cost? When do we stop being ourselves?" Her words ignited a spark, but the shadows of doubt lingered. Survival and identity clashed in a world where the sun had become both judge and executioner. Back in the lab, Anya worked late into the night, unaware that her research would soon intersect with Cora's rebellion. The vial of amber liquid represented hope too.